I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land, where we take a look at those top stories making headlines every Monday to Thursday. Now, today's top story is a big story, so I'm going to jump right in. The German Chancellery has summoned the head of the Palestinian diplomatic mission to Berlin over offensive comments made by Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas during his visit to Berlin. So let's start at the very beginning and discuss what led to the Chancellery summoning the head of mission to express their disdain and disgust about Abbas's comments. And I must just add that Abbas's comments certainly don't do the cause of the Palestinian people any favors. So let's take a look at what happened yesterday. The Palestinian Authority president is in Berlin to meet with various members of the German government, and he had a meeting yesterday with the Chancellor Olaf Scholz. Now, in the meeting, the two leaders discussed a variety of issues, including a Palestinian national aspiration and the request from Abbas for Germany to recognize a sovereign, independent Palestinian state. Now, the German Chancellor reiterated that while Germany does support two states and does support the right of the Palestinian people to have a state of their own, he said that the time was not right now. He also roundly rejected the accusation or the term apartheid to describe Israel. And yesterday, the two leaders were addressing the media at a joint press conference. Now, one reporter asked Abbas, did he have any thoughts about the upcoming 50-year anniversary of the Munich massacre? This was the terror attack at the Munich Olympics in 1972, where Palestinian terrorists, Black September, who were initially funded by Fatah, a party that Abbas at the time was a senior member of and would have had involvement in this terror attack. Now, instead of expressing remorse or apologizing, Abbas went on to make the following comment. He said that the Palestinians had survived 50 massacres. The Palestinians had survived 50 Holocausts. Now, this comment on German soil, where the German Nazi evil machine was responsible for the wholesale genocide of over 6 million Jews, is absolutely abhorrent. There's no two ways about it. Now, Olaf Scholz initially faced a lot of criticism because he didn't admonish Abbas at first. He would later express his disgust, calling it absolutely intolerable to make these kind of comments about the Holocaust. But needless to say, these comments resulted in absolute outrage both in Germany and here in Israel. The head of the German opposition called these comments the worst comments ever to have occurred in the German Bundestag, in the German parliament. And the German media actually admonished Scholz, saying that he should have actually booted the Palestinian leader out with immediate effect, a sentiment echoed by the head of the opposition as well. Now, of course, the response here in Israel has been absolute outrage. Former Prime Minister and alternate Prime Minister Naftali Bennett said one of the reasons that despite international pressure he would not meet with Abbas was because of his history of Holocaust denial. Prime Minister Lapid called this an absolute moral disgust, said that the blood of 6 million Jews is on German soil. To make these comments there is absolutely untenable, unforgivable. Finance Minister Avigdor Lieberman called Abbas a worse terrorist than Hamas or Palestinian Islamic Jihad. And Justice Minister Gideon Sa'ar also made his comments of condemnation. Danny Dayan, the chairman of Yad Vashem, Israel's National Holocaust Memorial and Museum, expressed his disgust, saying that it was inexcusable and action needed to be taken. Now, we have heard from the German ambassador to Israel, who has also expressed his wholesale disgust at the comments made by Abbas. And just moments ago, the spokesperson for Chancellor Scholz has said that he has arranged for a phone call between the Chancellor and Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid tomorrow to discuss these comments made by Abbas. Needless to say, they are roundly condemned, as far as the US Special Envoy on anti-Semitism, Deborah Lipstadt, who said that these type of comments using Holocaust revisionism or inversion does have far-reaching consequences. We, of course, will be following the story closely. Now, later in the day, Abbas made an attempt to walk back or clarify his comments. He said he did not mean to demean the singular crime that was the Holocaust, but actually just wanted to draw attention to Israel's crimes. Now, it is believed that either he tried to clarify this under massive pressure from Defense Minister Benny Gantz, who pressurized the Palestinian leader to apologize, or it could have been that maybe he has realized that this faux pas on German soil has cost him any sympathy or any empathy from the German government. Of course, we will be following this story very closely and bring you any updates as they occur. Meanwhile, in more positive news, it was announced earlier today that Israel and Turkey will be restoring full diplomatic relations, full normalizations. This will involve an exchange of ambassadors in Ankara, the capital of Turkey, and Tel Aviv. Now, of course, Turkey, and we do understand their reasons, have their embassy in Tel Aviv. Yair Lapid, the Prime Minister, said that this not only means that we have a deepening of bilateral relations, but also regional stability. President Herzog hailed the restoration of diplomatic ties, saying that this is a huge step forward for all people of the region, Christian, Muslims, and Jews, to live together in peace. And the Turkish Foreign Minister reiterated that while Turkey is extremely pleased with the restoration, it doesn't mean that Turkey is abandoning the Palestinian cause. Now, while we're on the subject of bilateral relations, we now go to Russia, and Israel has appealed to the Russian Justice Ministry to postpone the court hearing on the situation for the Jewish Agency for Israel from its schedule of the 19th of August. That's just 2 days from now. It is the belief of the Israeli government that perhaps because this is a legal issue, there is still time for an agreement to be reached. Now, this follows a phone call between Russian President Putin and our President Isaac Herzog, who is the former head of the Jewish Agency, to try and reach some kind of agreement. And of course, this is a story that we have been following since the news broke, and we will continue to update you right here. And we end as usual on a positive note by saying Kol HaKavod to Anastasia Gobenko, winning gold at the European Aquatic Champions in Rome. She took the gold for swimming, and we could not be more proud. Hey, Israel is turning out to be a country filled with gold medalist athletes. Who'd have thunk it? Anyway, that's all from me for today on the Israel Brief. Don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online, our Facebook community at Lottel site. Like us, follow us, share our content. You know what to do. Our YouTube channel growing steadily. Welcome to our new subscribers. And if you want to subscribe, simply click on the red subscribe button. And we're on Twitter at Lay of the Land 5. That's at Lay of the Land 5. And needing a huge sip of water, I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again for your headlines tomorrow.